Well, hey, this is Rhonda Simmons, and I am so glad to see you. Welcome to another edition of Empowered Heart to Heart. You know, it's good for us to be together one more time. Let me tell you, I can't believe the year is more than half over, and we're facing the end of the year already. We are already in quarter three for the 2024 year. And I'm like, oh my goodness, where has the year gone? And this just makes me realize, let me revisit my goals to make sure I'm on track to meet them by the end of the year. Making sure that you're tracking your goals is important, not just so you can say you got things done, but so you can know where you are, what corrections you need to make, what do you need to keep doing that's been working, and how you can keep the momentum going. This is even true when it comes to tracking your money. And so I'm no money expert. So that's why I called someone in today so that we can talk about money. Yes, it is the one universal conversation that everybody can talk about, that everybody needs advice about. It transcends racial lines, transcends demographics. No matter where you are on the planet, you understand the concept of money. You understand what it's like to have it. And some of us may understand what it's like not to have as much as you want. And unfortunately, so many people don't have enough at all. And so money is that universal language that we all need to be wiser about. And so before we jump into our session today, make sure, now that I have your attention, make sure that you like, comment, and share this video. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, share it with your friends. Let them know what you're watching. And also subscribe so that you can be notified every single time that we have a new video uploaded. Also, turn on the notifications button as well, because that'll do the same thing. If you're on social media and like, who is it? Check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Our handle is TSEFIORG. That's for the Simmons Empowerment Foundation Incorporated, but that's a really long name. So that's why we abbreviated it and got that nice little acronym going. Okay, so we're going to be talking about money stuff today, just stuff. Everything to do with money. Well, not everything. I mean, this is not a 3-hour long show, but we are going to be talking about money. And let me tell you, as I've said over and over again, I have met some of the most wonderful people this side of heaven that I've had the honor to interview in the 2 years that we've been doing this podcast, 2+ years. And so today is no exception, because and the thing that blows my mind, I've met people from all over the world that I would have never met otherwise. And so I'm really excited. Today, we're going to be talking with Nikki, who is a certified financial planner. She is a certified money coach. She is a certified business archetype coach and a certified couples money coach. I think the unanimous theme here is certified. That tells me she knows what she's talking about. She is also the founder of Opulentus Wealth. It's a fee for advice financial advisory practice based in Sunninghill, Johannesburg. Wow, she's in South Africa. That is amazing. Nikki has recently founded Imali Coaching, which assists individuals, business owners, and couples to transform and heal their relationship with money. Oh, we're going to be jumping into that phrase right there. Nikki lives her life based on the famous quote from Nelson Mandela: "The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but rising every time we fall." That is so important. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely excited to introduce to you Mrs. Nikki Gajoo-Frielinghaus. Hello, Nikki. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Rhonda. Hi, everyone. I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. This is exciting, and the topic is even more exciting to me. Wow. So, how did you get into this specific line of work? Out of everything you could have done with your life, how did you arrive here?
How much of time do you have, Doc Rhonda?
Well, you just start and we'll just keep going.
Awesome. Let me give you a quick version. So, about 9 years ago, I decided to hand in my corporate key card and leave the corporate world to start up my own wealth management practice, being Opulentus Wealth. And the practice has been successfully running for the last 9 years. Now, what brought a huge change or a profound change in my life that left me with a great deal of questions and lots of whys was the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I guess wherever we were in the world, this brought a great deal of uncertainty, a great deal of fear, and a lot of mixed emotions. Now, being a certified financial planner, my key role is to assist clients by managing their investment portfolios. So, what happened at the break of the pandemic? Markets started sliding, and this meant that clients' portfolios started dropping in value. So, what would a responsible financial planner do? Contact your clients, chat to them about the portfolios, and make some big decisions around the future of their investment portfolios. Now, being trained on the technical aspects of finance, the most appropriate advice to give to clients was to say, stay invested in the markets. The markets will correct themselves. You cannot cash out or withdraw when the market is at its lowest or when you've lost 60 to 80%, or in many instances, a greater percentage than that of your portfolio. It just doesn't make sense. You've got to be patient, you've got to sit it out. But Dr. Rhonda, what do clients decide to do? No, forget about the advice of the certified financial planner, right? This is my money. I've spent my entire life accumulating this. I'm going to cash out. It doesn't matter if I've lost 80% of the value. I'd rather have 20% in hand than nothing at all. And clients proceed to ignore my advice and do whatever they wanted to. And I found myself looking inward and deeply introspecting and asking myself, is this what I want in terms of business, in terms of my career? Because at that point in time, I thought I pretty much knew my why, which was to serve and assist clients through the work that I did. And I found myself questioning my why, and a whole lot of things were happening in my mind. My introspection and research led me to the doorstep of the Money Coaching Institute in the States. I spent some time researching their programs, and that is where I studied all my money coaching certifications. So, there is the money coaching for individuals, the business archetypes coaching, which is money coaching for business owners, as well as the couples money coaching. So, I did that over the last 3 years, and what that equipped me with is skills to understand the behavioral, emotional aspects around money and what drives clients' emotions and behaviors when they make decisions around money. I founded my second practice, Imali Coaching, last year sometime. And within that practice, we purely focus on assisting clients understand their thoughts, behaviors, emotions, patterns around money, and find ways to heal it and assist clients rewrite their money stories.
Wow, that is amazing. That is really amazing. And you ended right at the right place because your phrase about healing people's relationship with money um, is an interesting one because it's almost like when you say healing, Are we broken? Are we diseased when it comes to money? Can you expand upon what you mean about healing their relationship with money?
Sure. So I'll look at it from a wider perspective and then I'll just bring it closer to home, being South Africa. So, Dr. Rhonda, it depends on what level of mindfulness a person is at. There is no person listening to this podcast who has not had some sort of reaction or relationship with money, be it positive or negative. And everyone has something to heal, whether it's the fear of losing all the millions you have, or whether it's the fear of not having enough. Every single person out there has some sort of money issue if they're quite honest about it. And as I said, these issues need not be negative, where I've got no money. How do I make it from day to day? It can also be things like, I've got all these millions in the bank. I'm so afraid of losing it. I hope there isn't a stock market crash and all my money will go with the crash. So everyone has some sort of aspect around money which requires healing if they're honest enough. Bringing it back closer to home, here in South Africa, we a very unique country where we have legacy issues which come from the past and political things like the apartheid era. So South Africans find themselves with far more deeper money wounds and money trauma that they need to look at healing, because these are things that have been passed on from generation to generation.
Wow. Wow. What strong language that you're using. And the reason why I say that, I am an educator by profession. And so vocabulary is important to me. And I was literally writing down some of the things you just said about legacy issues and money wounds and money trauma. And even though, um, in our country, in the United States, we have no, um, we can't speak to the experience of apartheid that your country has experienced, but I think we can talk about the fact that many of us do have some legacy issues where, within our families. Some people grew up with families where the measure of success was, can we make it from paycheck to paycheck without anything being shut off, and without, with making payments on all of our bills and all of that kind of things. And just
Yes.
having that mindset. And because here's the thing, we've been talking all of July about transformation, specifically in the areas of mindset, execution, and accountability. And what I hear you really pinpointing is the mindset factor.
Right.
Um, and so, how do you break free from what you've always known? It's almost like we're creating something out of nothing. How do you break free from the traditions of the past, the traumas of the past? How do you do that?
So, Doc Rhonda, the first step is awareness, is to say, I am now the current generation. There are previous generations. This is what the previous generations have been through. This is a cycle. This is where I'm at. Do I continue or do I break the cycle? And this is where the money coaching offering comes in, because breaking a cycle is also linked to your mindset, right? Because you can either through transference repeat the cycles of those before you, or else you can find ways to break the cycle. Now, in terms of the work that I do, I've been trained in a proprietary method by the Money Coaching Institute. So, this method has what we call a core process. And the core process is something that's different for each and every person, because the core process has about 4 to 6 steps, whereby during each step, as you move along, you eventually reach the end where at the end of the core step process, you identify what are your money wounds, what are your money patterns, what are your money emotions, what are your money behaviors, your money habits. You have an idea in terms of what that is. And a lot of it is hardwired and it's subconscious. So people are not aware of it. That is why you need your coach or myself being the facilitator to ask the right questions to, and those uncomfortable questions to get out the responses, to bring up that awareness so we can start working on it. Doc Rhonda, as you may be aware, a lot of things we take on come from our parents. And it's not uncommon to find that a lot of our money behaviors, thoughts, emotions come from either one of our parents, both our parents, or someone who's influential in terms of raising us, or sometimes it's not common. There are patterns that we create by ourselves. So we also try and identify where or who does it come from, right? And with that as well, there's a great deal of work because it can bring a whole lot of emotion, be it anger, be it frustration, because, hey, I've just won the lottery here now. I've got all my mom's negative money patterns. What do you do with it? So we do a lot of work around things like forgiveness, because you can only move forward and heal once you look at forgiving, right? And once that's done, we tap back to look at people's life purpose, their why. A lot of people don't know their why, or as they grow older, they tend to forget their why. And you ask them, so what are your God given natural talents? And then people stare at me blankly. I don't have any God given talents or skills. And I say to them, this is impossible. Let's do some work. Let's try and uncover it. We uncover what that is. And towards the end of the process, now you equipped, you know what your patterns are, you know where or who they come from, you know what your life purpose is. And then we give to you what I call the cherry on the top. It's a toolkit which we call the small significant steps to change. And this is a toolkit that is customized based on all your money issues and your money baggage to start implementing these tools. And as you move along, you spoke about July being the month of transformation, where we look at mindset. Then you, as a coachee, would move onto the next level, which is execution, and then accountability in terms of checking in back with myself, being the coach, to see how the execution is going in terms of utilizing your toolkit. So it's a step by step process. It just doesn't happen overnight where we say, oh, I think my blockage is I have a scarcity mindset. These are the 10 affirmations I do over a period of 21 days, and that's it. My money problems are gone. No, no, no. It does not work that way. And you'd find there are so many things that come up that you can just work on what we've given to you literally for the next few years.
Wow, that is amazing. I don't know about anyone in our audience, but I never considered that being a money coach involved so many aspects of people and went so deep beyond the bank account and beyond the checkbook. So, how do you overcome people's objection when they say, well, I can't afford a money coach? How do you overcome that? Because based upon this conversation so far, it sounds definitely needed. But if they're struggling with money, how do you overcome that objection?
So, Doc Rhonda, two ways. The first one is if a person really needs it, they're going to find a way, right? Because these clients who need it most are these clients, if you take a look at their bank balances, are clients who are spending everything they earn, and they even going from credit card to credit card. But the thing is, from a mindset perspective, they're spending it on all the wrong things, or they're spending it because in most instances they're trying to fill a void which they're not even aware of, right? So it's very gently and politely saying, okay, you may not be ready now financially, but this is the cost, and when you are ready, give me a call. Of course, we do offer payment plans as well, which clients tend to utilize. But I always find that initially when clients cite the cost of the sessions as a stumbling block in terms of proceeding, a few months later, they miraculously and magically tend to find the money, and they'll call and say, Nikki, hi, it's Dr. Rhonda here. We spoke a few months ago. I'd just like to find out, is the cost of the session still X amount? I'd like to proceed. How soon can we begin?
Wow.
Doc Rhonda, if something is important to you, you will make the sacrifice.
Yes, yes, yes. I have been saying pretty much the same thing for the past year or two. People will pay for what they value. I've seen
Correct.
people, stepping out of unfavorable living conditions in red bottom shoes and a Louis Vuitton bag, but yet they're living in subpar housing, and you're like, really? It just,
Where are your priorities?
exactly,
And that
exactly.
in itself, I mean, that example, Doc Rhonda, I mean, if I can tell you from an analysis perspective as a money coach, that speaks volumes about those individuals in
Yes,
terms of their money values, their emotions, the potential voids that they're looking at filling, things like their scripts. You can see money status is very high up there for them in terms of appearance, right? But
right.
hey, accommodation's not that important.
Wow. Wow. I tell you, when I set the theme for this month, I had no idea the depth that I would go on with the various speakers because it's so important. I find in my line of work as a coach, people do want change. They just don't want to go through the process. They don't want to pay the price of change, whether the price is financial or intangible. They don't want to go through that process of change. And so,
Dr.
what were you about
Rhonda,
to say? Hmm.
sorry, just to add to that, you were quite right. And I find that it's all about readiness. You know, how ready are you to embark on this journey, not only financially, but in terms of a growth perspective? Because any coaching journey means that you are going to have to grow. You are going to have to let go of some things. You're going to have to introspect. And that is where clients are not willing to do the work because, hey, habits are easy to slip back into. Habits are nice, right? It doesn't matter how toxic and destructive they may be.
Right, right, absolutely. And I believe you provided a link that I'll place around the description of this video and podcast to a resource that you have available to anyone. Can you describe that resource to us?
Sure, Doc Rhonda. So it's actually a complementary resource. And the core process that I spoke about earlier on, we request that all coachees take this money archetypes quiz. So, money archetypes are just simple metaphors which look at, or money personalities, which just look at your different thoughts, emotions, behaviors, etc. So it is something that you do on our website. I will get the results. You will get the copy of the results. And we offer all clients a 30-minute Zoom complimentary session whereby I will take you through your archetypes and show you how your archetypes have either been positively contributing to your money situation or ways where they have been totally toxic and destructive towards what you're going through in terms of your money situation.
Yes, yes. Sounds great. I may even take it myself. And that
Wonderful.
yes, I would love to know. But that kind of leads me to my last question. You mentioned
Sure.
that you're in South Africa. I mentioned I'm in the United States. Thankfully, our podcast has gone global, and so I've got people downloading episodes all over the world. Can you speak to the universality of what you do? Because every country has its own money
Sure.
system, and how is your coaching applicable to anyone, anywhere, and it still be effective?
Very interesting question, Doc Rhonda. And just a comment before I respond is that even though I am South African based, most of my clients are actually overseas. So I work with clients from the States, from Europe, England, Australia, New Zealand, the United Emirates, because why not South Africans? I don't know. I don't know whether they're ready or not ready, or what the block is, but it's very universal in the sense that money is a universal language. You said it when you opened up the show. It's a universal language. I'm not speaking to you about your 401k in the States or retirement annuity as what it's known in South Africa. No, not at all. All we're speaking about is the universal concept of money. What are your hardwired money patterns? What are your thoughts, emotions, behaviors around money? Where do they come from? Is this things that are keeping you awake at night? Are you living from paycheck to paycheck and you don't know why? Are you in a situation where you are in a money generational cycle, where you are now the current generation and you have two choices? You either continue to repeat the money cycle from the past, or alternatively, you try and do something new. And what is the something new? The something new is working with a money coach to support you to identify those hardwired money emotions, patterns, behaviors, etc., and provide you with a toolkit to move past that and rewrite your new money story.
Wow. Wow. Nikki, this has been an amazing time together. I have so many thoughts going through my head right now, and I'm thinking about, oh my goodness, so many people need to hear what you have to say and engage in your practice with you, and just get on board, because mindset is a powerful, powerful thing. And I'm just so excited about you being here today. And thank you so much. I appreciate your time and all of your wisdom and input.
Dr. Rhonda, thank you so much for the honor and privilege to be part of the show today. It's been absolutely amazing, and looking forward to engaging with you in the future.
Absolutely. If you will just hang out just for a minute, I'm going to wrap up the
Oh,
show and I'll be right back with you. Okay.
wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Wow. Nikki went deep. I don't care what country you're from. She went deep, y'all. And we didn't even talk about the whole couples part of finances. Oh, we'll just have to bring her back and talk about that. But oh my goodness, so many things were going through my mind. I was thinking about my own habits when it comes to money, and how we deal with stress and how we deal with issues in life. And for example, I remember years ago, we're not going to say how many, but years ago, something triggered me. I got so angry. Yeah, I did. It was just a hot mess drama. You know how life gets. And I remember I jumped in the car and drove as fast as I could. Yes, as fast as I could to the mall. And in an hour's time, I must have spent the better part of $1,000 on clothes. Now, provided they were good clothes and I got good quality. But the bigger lesson is that it was a trigger response. It had nothing to do with what I was dealing with at the moment. It didn't fix a thing. It didn't. I mean, I looked good. I had great, attire, but still, that was not the point. And so if I had had a money coach in my life at the time, then I could have relied upon her toolkit, or different strategies, coping strategies that we could have worked through, so that in times of crisis, I'd have alternative methods of dealing with life stresses. There is nothing anyone can do to stop life from lifing, as they say. Things happen, things go wrong. but we need the right tools in our toolbox so that we know how to deal with these situations as they arise in ways that won't cause us future damage. Could I have done something else with that $1,000? Obviously. That would have been more productive. Oh, I could have done something like invest it. There's a thought. But like I said, it was years ago. I was younger and not as smart. And so it's important that we connect with coaches. This is why you need a coach, because your coach is not tied to your stressors. There's not that emotional connection like if you're talking with a family member or loved one. Your coach can tell you the truth, in kindness, in love, in respect and honor and all of that, but your coach will tell you the truth. And so you need a coach. And if you need a financial coach, click on the link around this video or around this podcast so that you can reach out to Coach Nikki and see what she has to offer. Because I'm telling you, as you heard today, you're not dealing with a novice. You're dealing with someone with years of experience, which understands the power and the mindset behind money. It's more than just the dollar or the yen or whatever your country's money system is. It's more than that. And so get a coach, reach out to Coach Nikki. And so until the next time, be blessed, be encouraged, but most of all, be empowered. And I'll see you on the next edition of Empowered Heart to Heart.